OPEC ultimately has control over oil prices, over all the world's oil markets. They control a third of the world's oil supply. Now, under Donald Trump, that didn't really matter because we had so much oil. We were a net exporter. We were foreign oil independent, and we were the kingpins of the oil and gas industry as we produce more oil than any country. Okay. And so we were outproducing Russia and Saudi Arabia. In fact, Trump had control of the Saudi prince. Now, OPEC has control. Why? Because we went from 13 million barrels a day under Donald Trump down to 11 million under Biden. In addition, we're losing Russian oil. That is tightening the markets tremendously. And we're also losing spare capacity. Okay. There has not been enough investment in oil and infrastructure to help with spare capacity and also help with new development to produce more oil. I mean, we should be using these profits to drill even more. The shale revolution was a flash in the pan. Bottom line, it's the most expensive barrel of oil to produce, and it's the fastest declining oil structure in the world. I mean, you drill a water well, you could expect that water would flow from the aquifer forever. I mean, if it stopped, that you'd have something to worry about. But oil is sitting in a tight formation. There's not a billion barrels down there. I mean, there could be 250,000 barrels of oil down there. Okay. Eventually it's going to stop. It declines. Day one, it might do 1,000. Day 365, it might do 10. The fastest declining asset is in America. Don't expect us to sit at 11 million barrels a day for the rest of our lives. Like Saudi Arabia and Russia and a lot of those other countries, they have conventional oil plays. Shale is non-conventional. It costs $15 to $20 million to frack it. You're using a tech to frack the hell out of it just to get a barrel of oil out of the sand. And so bottom line, we're going to see massive declines if we don't start developing. We have to spend a lot of money. As we're Saudi Arabia, they're not spending a tremendous amount of money on new development. But they eventually need to because their oil fields, I mean, most of the major oil fields out there were drilled back in the 50 to 70 years ago. So we're running out of oil, guys, and we're not spending any money because nobody's investing into it. You could thank the Biden administration for leading the charge with green energy, the Paris Accord, this whole green initiative and the whole messaging regarding the fossil fuel industry is evil, okay? And they just wanted to win votes. They just wanted to become president, and they did. But, hey, look where we're at today. Thanks, guys. And so bottom line, OPEC runs everything, and so they produce about 30 million barrels a day. Now, under COVID, when oil prices dropped, they reduced output by 10 million barrels a day. Now, here's why. Is if they sell 30 million barrels a day at $65 oil, they're making $1.6 something billion a day of income. Now, if they reduce it by 10 million, they go from 30 million a day down to 20 million, and they sell it for $100 oil. Now they're making $2 billion a day. That's a difference of $350 million a day. They make $350 million or more by producing 10 million barrels a day less. Now you think about that. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize, well, that makes a lot of sense because we've been printing money and sending it over to Saudi Arabia and taking oil in exchange. Our money is worthless. It's a fiat currency. We print it, and we send it to Saudi Arabia, and they exchange it for oil. We're literally printing oil. See, oil, it's a non-renewable resource. It's never coming back. So every barrel of oil Saudi Arabia produces and sends to America, that will never come back, is where we could just print. We just print money. It's just ink and paper. We just keep printing. It's really not ink and paper. We're sending zeros and ones over a computer. We're literally creating nothing. And we're sending it to Saudi Arabia in the form of numbers and a bank, and they are sending us a tangible asset called oil, a precious resource that is the most important asset this world has. It's the most important commodity in the world, and they lost their respect. They turned their back on oil, and look where we are. And so Saudi Arabia has been sending us oil for years, but they don't want to do that anymore because they're starting to realize, listen, we don't have enough oil to last us forever here. And so they're denying the calls from America and from the world to produce more spare capacity. Saudi Arabia and UAE are the only two countries that have spare capacity to produce even more, okay? And so OPEC meetings, they keep the UAE, the heads of the UAE, the heads of Saudi Arabia, the heads of Russia, the heads of every country in OPEC, they're all saying, listen, there's not enough investment in oil. There's not enough spare capacity. Once the COVID lockdowns stop, the slump of 2020 during COVID, once all that ends and it goes away, there's not going to be enough oil. They're warning all of us. And now Biden continues. They're pushing this NOPEC bill, which is nonsense. And now they're going to sue the OPEC cartel and prevent them from being able to manipulate oil production. If they do that, I'm hearing things from analysts and some very smart people. We might see $200 oil. We might see $300 oil. That could happen. If Saudi Arabia wanted to cut us off from oil, we'd be screwed. I mean, Russia is being reduced to ashes. Their production is declining. And our production in the U.S. is declining. OPEC's in charge again. And so now we are starting a war with these guys. We're pulling our military troops out. The Middle East is becoming even more volatile. Wars are breaking out. I wouldn't say new wars are breaking out, but you're seeing more bombs drop. People are becoming more gutsy under this administration, and you wonder why. You look what we've done in the Middle East, and it's pretty obvious why these people have more guts than they've had before. So bottom line here, with Russia on the decline, with OPEC not listening to anything Biden has to say, they really don't have the spare capacity. Are they snubbing them? Yes. But ultimately, they don't have enough oil to share with the world. They want enough oil for their country as well. And so they need to develop even more. They're using excess cash to take in profits versus new development. That's exactly what the U.S. is doing. They're doing the same thing, okay? So, all right, guys, I'm Sean Pruitt, president of Kingdom Exploration. If you like this channel, please subscribe. And if you're interested in looking at oil and gas, please read the description below. Thank you.